I'll share the screen outrightly. I'll start with the tool. So my screen is visible. My screen is visible to
Yes,
all of
sir.
you.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
If there is any technical glitch, kindly let me know so that I can correct it.
Okay.
Okay. I'll just move on to the full screen mode so that we have a better view. Okay, fine. So currently you can see that the tool is now available for use. This is a tool which is a desktop tool, and it is not an online tool. So whenever this tool is used, we have the desktop, we have all the data stored at the desktop. This tool is not a telecentric tool, but we have a option of importing data directly from tele. Of late there will be certain integrations with other softwares also, where we have the process of importing all the data. I'll just start by importing all the data from tele and then show you how the outputs come up, and then we can go ahead with the detailing of the tool. I'll just start importing the data from tele. Here you can see that I have the demo tele data, which is also available to you when you log into the software for just checking it. I have 3 years data. I have financial year 33, 23, 24, 22, 23, 23, 24, and 24, 25. So I'll just go on importing it. I'll show you the operational part later on. I'll just show you the output so that you get the interest in the software and you can just know how it works. Once I start to import the tele, you can see that when I have the tele open here, I already did not have any company opened here. So whenever we go for the import from tele, that company gets automatically created for us. In this particular data, I have ledgers, I have stock, and I have the data for debtors and hedges where I can use for aging purposes. I'll just import the data. I'll import it. You'll see how much time it takes to import the data. It will not take more than 50 seconds to import. We'll just import the data, download the output, and then we'll discuss on the output, and then we'll come to the operation part. As I already told you that this software is not a telecentric software. We also have the capabilities of importing trial balances and other data to Excel also. And if there is in a specialized software and they give us the access rights, then we can also import it. See, the data is imported in less than maybe 40 seconds. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to tally. I'll change the year to 23, 24. I'll just import the data again. So for the financial year, I'll import data for 3 financial years. Is because we also get a cash flow prepared along with the financial statements, which will be prepared only if we have 3 years financial data. I'll move on to the another financial year. I'll import the data again. You can see that it takes only hardly 30 to 40 seconds to get imported, maybe less than that. And the entire configuration of your computer brings out the speed of this particular tool. So it is not dependent on any particular uh, uh, cloud engine or anything. It is just useful here when we do. Data for the 3 years is now imported. Now we all know that we do not have share capital details. That is the details of the shareholders in the financial softwares. Any financial software of any financial accounting software you take, you do not have the details of the share capital. So what we'll do is we'll import. I already have a detail. I already have a report here of the share capital details of the company. I'll show you how it is done and where it is to be done. Currently, what I'll do is I'll just import it and I'll focus on the output of the software. I'll just import the shares details. I just imported it. I'll confirm it. Once the share details is imported, I will go for the fixed asset register. You also get a PP register with entire working of the PP notes here. So I'll also import the PP register here, which also I have readily available here. I'll show you how it is being prepared and how it is to be done later on. The next process that I'll do is, you can see that we also have a facility of importing the fixed assets, additions of for the current year. You can do it for every year, but I did it for the current year. I'll show you why we have to do it only for the current year. I have the current year 24-25. I'll import the fixed asset additions here. Only the fixed asset additions will be imported in this. Fixed asset additions are imported in this. What I'll do is later on, I'll go to the configuration settings. I'll choose the CA who will sign the balance sheet. I've already prepared a CA here. Here you can have a plus button and you can just create the CA details or the CA profile which you want to create. When we go to the financial statements, what you can do is you can just edit the company master. You can go to this particular tab and you can choose the chartered accountant who is going to select the who is going to sign the balance sheets. We can further enter the details of the directors also. Here I have the director details. I have just entered it and I have submitted in it. I'll now go for the balance sheet generation. Before the balance sheet generation, I'll just like to tell you that we also have a system of auto customized accounting policies. I'll just show you it later that once the balance sheet is done. I'll go for the generation of the balance sheet. I'll come to the operational part, how this balance sheet is prepared and how it is useful to you. And the most important tool about the software is that the balance sheet that is prepared not by the software, but it is prepared by the instructions of the user. Means it is entirely based on the user's instructions and how he maps everything that I'll show you and how it is gives you ease on year to year basis. See, the balance sheet is now generated. I'll just download the balance sheet. I'll show you the output now. Just we'll have a brief discussion about the output of the balance sheet, and then we'll come to the operational part. You can see that the entire balance sheet is prepared, and the balance sheet that we have got right now, is in Excel, and this Excel is entirely editable Excel, and this Excel is entirely a linked Excel. Any changes you do in the later part, I'll show you where it is to be done. See, what happens is this balance sheet has a three-tier formation, which we generally do when we prepare a balance sheet. We have the short-term provisions here, then we have the balance sheet notes prepared here, we have the P&L notes available here, we have the profit and loss account here, we have the cash flow here, we have the share capital, and we have the PPE register also. These are the things that we generally prepare when we have a balance sheet to be formulated. Now you can see that the balance sheet has a balance sheet here, balance sheet has been generated here. It has a small difference of 1.79 rupees. These difference also I'll explain why it has occurred, so that whenever you use this software, you will know that these things can result into a variation. But this variation is not because of any error in the software, but this is because of certain inputs that are kept outside the software and which we generally include in it. So this is the balance sheet. Here we have the profit and loss account. Here we have the cash flow statements. You can see the cash flow statements are also tallied. For the current year, it is previous year, it is not tallied. And these cash flow statements are also given along with the notes to the cash flow statements. That is how these cash flow statements have been prepared will be made available to us. This is the entire working of the cash flow state notes, the cash flow statement that is available, so that we can check that the cash flow statements has been prepared properly. So the cash flow statement has been prepared here. Based on the data that we imported in the software, we have the share capital details also plotted here. I'll just show you one thing more. Here we can see that the share capital for more than 5% has been given to us on the basis of the shareholders list that we imported. We have the promoter shareholder. I did not adjust the shareholders details to show the promoters details. What we can do is we can go to the holders details here, whatever we have imported. We can get the button, we can have the edit here done here, and I can choose the promoters here and submit it. Similarly, I can also choose some another uh, shareholder here and it assigns him, it has a promoter. So once this is done, when the balance sheet is generated, you will also have the details of the promoters plotted here. So the share capital details are to be imported in a very simple manner. I'll just show you along with this. Whenever you have to prepare a share capital detail, what you have to do is you just have to go to the subscribe capital tab or any tab you can go. At the below, you will have an icon of Excel, wherein when, once you export this, you will have a template exported of this kind. This is the template, which is a very simple template that you have to enter. This is the shareholders detail, the share capital, the number of shares, when you subscribe, when did they subscribe it, and whether it is equity or not, and all these details have to be entered. This can be the folio number of the share details also, which you can enter here. And based on this, once you import this simple sheet, you get the entire details of the shareholders plotted here. Apart from this, you can also have the entire shareholders management here. That is, if you have any shareholders who have left or who have joined new, you can just enter the transfer logs and withdrawal logs, and then you can have the similar reporting in the balance sheet as well. The shareholders will change and the new shareholders will come in. This reporting will also be taken care of. Now I come to the detailed balance sheet portion of this. You can see that here in the balance sheet, we have reserves and surplus. Reserves and surplus, we have the surplus coming up. In case we had some capital reserve account, redemption reserve account, everything would have been plotted here. But this particular data does not have any capital reserves or any other thing available. So it has just plotted the simple things. Now, sometimes what happens is in the profit and loss account, we give certain adjustments with regard to the interim dividends or the dividends on tax and everything. This has to be taken care manually, because unless and until you have prepared a separate account. In case you have prepared a separate account, the same will be automatically reported here. But if it is in the same profit and loss account, then it will not be reported. Again, when I go ahead, we have the long-term borrowings here. We all know that we have to bifurcate the long-term borrowings into secured and unsecured. Then further bifurcations are with regard to the term loans. Then we have from banks, from deferred liabilities and all. All these things will be plotted here, and how it is to be done, I'll just explain in the operational part. The most beautiful part of this is whenever you have a secured loan or anything, any such kind of disclosure which has to be given. Suppose this is a secured loan and there is a term loan. We all know that there is certain security and guarantees attached to it. So what does it do is, it once these things are plotted here, if these things are not here, then this disclosure will not come up. If these things are here, then the disclosure comes up. It gives you a guidance that you have to enter all these things. You have to enter the name of the bank, the current and the previous balances, the securities and all. And here you have the terms of the payment, which you can just update it here. Off late, what is going to happen is all these things will be shifted in the software itself, and it will, like a share tab, you will also have a tab with regard to the entering the securities, which will be plotted on year to year basis based on reading of your data. Again, we in the unsecured loans, we have loans from related parties and all these things have been mentioned here. Now, we also have certain other things like the defaults in the payments and interest and all. So if anything is there, we can just report it here. It just gives you for the guidance. In case it is not there, we can just delete it. Once we delete it, you can see that the number also gets automatically adjusted, so you do not have to worry about the numberings and all. Everything is done automatically. Now, when we go ahead with this, we have other long-term liabilities, we have short-term borrowings, we have current maturities. In case of current maturities, we all know that we prepare the details in Excel. In case we have a separate account of current maturities in our accounting software, then in that case, that also gets automatically fetched here. You do not have to do it manually. When we go ahead, when we have short-term borrowings, we again have the disclosure of the securities and all. We have the defaults and all here. We have the long-term borrowings from and their nature of guarantees that is to be given here. Further, when we go, we have the current maturities. You can see that when we do not enter current maturities in a financial statements and we have to report it here, what it gives is, it gives you a small box here, wherein suppose you enter a amount here, say in term loans you enter 5,000, then what happens, the 5,000 rupees that you have entered is a current maturity automatically gets reported here. And the second effect that you have to give is, What this balance sheet provides you is provides you with the grouping of the balance sheets. Means the entire ledgers that are been given in the financial statements or in the accounting software are plotted for you here, so that whatever changes you do, suppose I have entered there 5,000 rupees. So what I'll do is I'll just reduce 5,000 rupees from here. So what will do this do is it will tell you balance sheet. Suppose I'll just undo this particular thing. You can see that when I had only one particular entry done, I had a difference of 5,000 rupees here. 1.75 you already had. Once I redo it, you can see that the balance sheet is automatically tallied. So the most important and the most useful part of this software is it gives you a liberty to uh, make the changes at the end of the moment, end time, when if any of your clients make any changes at the last moment of this. So you do not have to generate the balance sheet time and again. You have done any formatting and all, you can just make the changes here, and you can do also make the, you know, also generate the balance sheet. I'll just undo the changes here to show you certain other things now. Again, the most important and the most useful feature is that whenever you are using Tally or you are using any other software, what happens is in your trade payables you have to provide a aging as per the requirements of the Companies Act, which has been given in this manner. It is less than 1 year, 1 to 2 years, and 2 to 3 years. All these things, even if you have not knocked off your bills against the payments for the sundry creditors or the trade payables, as the case may be, it will automatically, or it will on the basis of its own AI facility, it will, what it will do is it will make the necessary this calculations and give you a auto adjusted auto aging aged trade payables, which will be as per the requirements. You can verify this all these agings on the basis of this details that have been given here. If we open here, if you go to trade payables here, you have the entire aging that has been plotted here. You can just verify it here. You can download it in Excel. See, this is the aging that has been provided with the software. Anything you can just test check and you can confirm with yourself that this has been properly done by the software or not. So these workings are also provided. All these things are directly plotted here in the software. Further, when we go, we have the details of the this disclosure has been given, which disclosure is actually required to be given as per the Companies Act. But this has not been plotted here currently, is because this has to be cross verified with the MSME returns that has been filed with the registrar of companies, which is to be done either maybe half yearly or maybe done to be done once in a year. So these things also will get plotted in sometimes, but it will come with a disclaimer that it has to be verified and confirmed with the MSME return that is filed with the ROC. Further, when we go, we have the advance from customers, we have statutory dues. I'll just come to this part of advance from customers when I'll show you the operational part of the software, how this automatically gets plotted and how it will be useful for you. We have other provisions, like we have the provisions for employee benefits, wherein we have salaries, contributions, all these copybook things which are required to be plotted by the Companies Act, and in the manner on the wordings that is required will be given here. Even if we have PF, ESIC, we have the ESIC and other contributions, then it also will come in. Here you can see that the taxes have also been shown net of advances. This note has been automatically drafted in a manner that it gives you the net of advances for the current year and the previous year. You can see that when you go to this tab, and here there is a provision of taxes, so we have to show it net of advances. So when you total all these things, it will come to 104570. So here when again I verify it, it will just get tallied with this. So this note and everything will be automatically plotted here. Further, when we go, we have certain places we have written refer notes, refer notes. I'll show you how, why it has been written. Again, when we go ahead, we have advanced from advanced recoverable receive in kind. This software is of late going to provide details with regard to the related parties, and these details will be provided only for the purpose, only for the users who use Tally, is because they are going to develop a functionality wherein the related party disclosures will be automatically plotted, and once that is done, these details will also come up for you automatically. It is in the process of development, and it will just come up in the few later versions of the after it has been tested properly. Further, when we go, we have other current assets, we have inventories. In case of inventories, what we have to do is all the inventories that have been put in the software, we all know that if in case we are given an item of inventory. Say it is an item, say this is the item which has been given. Now, any layman will not be able to know whether this is a raw material, whether this is a finished goods, whether this is a stores item. So it is very important that whenever you are importing your stock, it is very much important that you group your items. Like any other layman, the software also wants to know what has been done. Otherwise, it will do it as per his requirement. But once it has been done, it is not important that you write the same words or everything. Any words that includes raw material, anything will be taken care and will be plotted. So that will come up. It will give you certain guidance. Like the trade payables, you also have the trade receivables aging, irrespective of the fact if the trade receivables have not been properly knocked off on bill to bill basis. Even if it is not done, it will give you a perfect aging in this manner on a FIFO basis. Further, when we go, we have cash and cash equivalents. See, once you prepare a first cut balance sheet, I've purposely kept a negative cash here. So you just know that there is a problem in this, and in the balance sheet. By analyzing it, and you can just ask the accountant or the company to just rectify and then give it to you, or you have to give some adverse remarks if required. Further, when I go ahead, we have the short term loans and advances. We have advance from employees, suppliers. Everything that is required to be given is plotted. Finally, we have the analysis of the ratios. When analysis of the ratios also gives you a liberty that you can verify all the workings of the ratios, all the workings and all the items that have been taken for the purpose of verifying the for the purpose of creating the ratios have been given to you here. We can just verify all the ratios. You have all the ratios given here. It provides you a guidance that you have to give a reasoning here, and you can give all the reasons here why there is a variation of more than 20% or any other case, any other uh, scenario or any other parameter that has been given by the institute or any other forum. Further, when we go, we do not have the contingent liabilities anywhere in the account, so we have to put it on our own. Of late, it will be transferred to the software as well. Further, when I go, I will move on to the profit and loss account. You can see that the profit and loss account here gives you a red marking. This red marking has been specifically kept because there is a requirement as per the Companies Act that you have to give the details of the manufactured goods or the traded goods that have been included in the sale of products. This has to be given on the basis of the workings that you do. So this is just a guidance for you. If you enter these things here, what happens is automatically the markings get deleted. If you do not want to give, or if you feel that you cannot give this, what you can do is just delete this particular box, and you can just unmark this particular cells. So this is the guidance and this is the requirement actually which you should give. In case you are not able to give for any other reason, there is a facility that you can remove the cells. So this entire Excel is an editable Excel. It is not that it is rigid and you have to just follow what has been given in the Excel. If similarly in the case of interest income, you have to give certain kind of disclosures here. And further, for non-operating income also you have to give certain disclosures. If these disclosures are given properly, then you can just get the markings removed from here, and it will give you a proper disclosure forms. Further, when I go for the cost of raw material consumed, we all know that for the cost of raw material consumed also, the interpretations say that we have to enter the raw material consumed, the major raw materials, and then we can just include others in the items. We have increase and decrease in the items. We have employee benefits here, wherein we have salary, wages, employee contributions, and all. Financial finance cost includes the interest on working capital, statutory use, balance sheet, bank charges, and commitments. Even if we have any interest on term loans and all, that will also be taken care of. Further, we can see that in other expenses, all the things that have been marked to us for the purpose of reporting have been given to us. Here you can see that there is a small marking here with regard to the payment to auditors. It is because we have to give a bifurcation of the payment to auditors here. Once we give this bifurcation, say this is 1 lakh and this is 50,000, then it will automatically get removed. As I already told you, the balance sheet gives you a very concise and perfect thing of changing the things. Suppose this is rent of machinery. We have the P&L groupings also available. You can know what are the ledgers that have been grouped in this. So on year to year basis, you can just verify that this has been properly grouped or not. Otherwise, what happens is, once what we do is repair and maintenance is in the factory expenses, the other time it is in the repair and maintenance machinery. So we are not able to see. So what happens is we can just verify the 3 years data and we can know that everything is going as per the requirements. Now further when I go, we have the PP register here. PP register is prepared on the basis of the first fixed asset register that is imported in the software, that is the audited fixed asset register of the previous year. I'll just show you the format of the fixed asset register. So what you have to do is you just have to take the fixed asset register which you last prepared for your financial statements. Suppose this is the financial year which is 23, 24, 25. So what you have to do is you have to take the fixed asset register as on 31/3/2024. You have to plot this as in manner which is nothing but a simple thing. You have the asset locations. All these things are not mandatory, but you want to prepare a proper fixed asset register. These things have been given, and you can just have the compliance of your Companies Act also, and you do not have to just give the wordings that the fixed asset register has been prepared and all. These things will also be helpful to give you the proper compliance notes in your CARO and other reports as well. So we have the asset name, we have the asset category. Whenever you start importing data from Tele, what happens is you will also have the privilege of getting the party name. Suppose I'll just show you the current financial year, we imported certain items from Tele. So we have the name of the party as well. We have the details of the invoices, which is the what is the bill number and all. So everything gets plotted here. We have the purchase date and we have the capitalization date as well. So suppose you have a purchase date but your capitalization is deferred, then in that case you can also enter another date and the depreciation will be calculated on the basis of the capitalization date. Further, when we go, we have the purchase value, we have the useful life, which is all available in this. Residual value, 5% or any other value which you feel is required for this can be entered here. We have the adjusted WD. Now, the important thing that is to be shown to you is these two columns. That is, whenever we import the fixed asset register of the last financial year, we may have certain differences in the uh, depreciation that is calculated by the software in case we import all the fixed assets on the basis of the previous years, and there will be certain rounding of differences. In that case, for removing the rounding of differences, what we have to do is we just have to import the opening WDVs, that is the WDVs as on 31/2024, and we can just enter the WDV of the financial year from which we are starting the software. That is, I started this software from using from 23/24. So you can, what you can do is you can enter the words 22/23. Once this has been done, what you can do is you can directly import it as I showed you in the through the Excel. You can just import it through this, and you will have the entire fixed asset register prepared in this manner. This is the fixed asset register, wherein you have the details of the entire details of the fixed assets that I showed you right now. Then you have the depreciation workings available here. These depreciations are provided to you. These depreciations are provided to you on the basis of the useful life and all. If anyone wants to verify the working of the depreciation, then also they can do it. How I'll just show it to them. What they can do is, here is the calculator that has been given. For this particular asset, in case you feel that I want to verify the depreciation whether software has done it properly, just click here and you get the entire working of the depreciation detailed here on year to year basis, and you can just know what the depreciation is looking like. Now, when we move on to the balance sheet, we also have this particular working of the current year plotted here. So in case you want to show that you have the depreciation workings here, you can just verify the workings. It does not have a formula, but you can just verify through your Excel sheet or anything. And once you have the confidence, you can go ahead with this. So all these things automatically come here and it gives you the depreciation module entirely prepared for you. Here are certain disclosures which are required for the assets. Here means these are to be given as per the user, but currently all the assets have been treated as they are used owned assets, and there are no leased assets. In case you have leased assets, then you have to bifurcate it. There are certain other provisions or other disclosures which have been given outside the printing, which if required can be taken into consideration. Like if there is a WIP, you have to give the aging, and all these things have to be done. Further, when I go, I told you that there is a difference in the balance sheet to the extent of 1.79. Why is this difference has come up is because that fixed asset register that I have imported here, the fixed asset register had a opening WDV. It has an opening WDV, adjusted opening WDV. What happened is when I imported this fixed asset register, I did not take care that it tallies with my financial statements. So this fixed asset register has come outside the book financial statements for the first year of the financial statements. So if I take you to the accounting software, you can see that the opening balance here comes to 609,35239. If I go here and I'll just enter the amount here to show you that the difference 35. If you work out the difference here, see you will have a difference exactly coming to 1.79. So in this software, the balance sheet will give you wrong details if you enter the fixed asset details. Otherwise, there is nothing. Anything which flows directly from a financial statement will never be wrong. And this will be wrong only for the first fixed asset register you did. So you have to ensure that whatever you do tallies with your financial statements, and then you ensure that it doesn't come into it. Similarly, I will go ahead with this. With balance sheet PP, we have the PP notes here. Then we have the additional information. Before going to the additional information, I'll just take you to one more feature of the software is that once you go to the master sheet of the software, what you can see is that you have a requirement in the financial statements to convert your financial statements into thousands, millions, or any other things that is been required or as per your requirement. So companies like mandate this 100,000 lakhs and millions is to be done. What happens is once you go to this master sheet, you open, keep your software open, you keep this Excel sheet open. Suppose I'll convert this to thousands. What happens is the entire balance sheet is converted into thousands. You can see that the balance sheet is here now noted with the rupees in thousands, and entire balance sheet gets converted into thousands. The balance sheet, the profit and loss account, the cash flow statements, the share capital details, and everything that has been given that entirely to the period of groupings, what you will find is everything will get converted into uh, thousands. In case you want to make it as an absolute figure, then what you can do is just convert it again, and you have the entire balance sheet converted again into the same form, same absolute figure set. But it's better that you make a copy too of this particular Excel sheet and then you do it, because in case you do not have a license Excel or a Microsoft, then in that case there may be certain errors in the modules. So you make a copy of this. Otherwise, this balance sheet is always downloadable. You can just generate it and download again in case there is a problem. Now, apart from this, we have other features such as we have other features like customized accounting policies. See what happens is when we generate the balance sheet, we have an accounting policy which has been given here, which is just for the purpose of guidance. But in case you have an accounting policy of your own for different companies, what you can do is when you I'll show you at the end of the session how to log into this software and how you can just download all these things. We have a suppose we have a accounting policies with regard to particular company. This is a template that is available from the software. What you can do is apart from changing this cells, you can change everything and you can just enter all your accounting policies that is relevant to a particular company. You can just enter all these things, and what you can do is you can go to this reports customize format. Here you can go, you can choose, you just have to select the companies. If in case there are more than one companies, then you just take the company from the drop down, you choose this, you you can just choose this file, and once this is done, this is imported. So what this ensures is whenever you run the company name Demo Private Limited, each and every time this particular accounting policies will get plotted here, and you do not have to worry about each and every time to prepare. So this will be done for every particular company. Like you have any other company, then this accounting policies will be different for this. So you can do it in this manner. So you have the facility of having a customized accounting policy. Further, what I'll do is I'll go to the content sheet. In the content sheet, you can see that there are various disclosures which have been given. I'll take you to the profit and loss account here, and specifically to the profit and loss notes. Here you can see that we have rents. So we all know that the accounting standard requires it whenever there is a lease agreement or a rent agreement, we have to give certain disclosures with regard to it as per the accounting standards. So what you can do is you can go to the content sheet. We have the entire table coming here. You can use the accounting standard which is relevant to this. You all know that the accounting standard for this is leases, that is 19. What we do is once we do it, yes, the a sheet automatically gets opened in Excel. Here is the sheet, and it just gives you a guidance of what disclosures you are required to give. Since we do not have all these details in the financial software, it is not able to plot it all these details, because we have to give the future lease payments, we have to give other things also. So these things are not actually available in the financial statements. So it just gives you a format of disclosure that is to be given. Once this disclosure is given or this is selected, you automatically have the number plotted here. You do not have to worry about what number will come. Similarly, whenever there is a reference of the notes given here, this means that you have to give a particular format here. It will be available to you from the content sheet. In case if you feel that you um, have your own format, then in that case you can just start it from here and you can just enter your own formats as well. And it is not required that you have to do it time. So once I go to the content sheet, I'll just do it no. So what happens is it automatically gets this. Now we know that earning, we had imported the details of the equity shares. So since the equity share details have been plotted here, we get the entire earning per share automatically calculated here. Even if in case currently a facility has been given here, but it will be shifted to the software. In case we have some say additions to the shares, suppose I do an addition of addition of say 25,000 shares, what happens is automatically calculates the weighted average number of shares, and your earning per share also gets automatically calculated on the basis of this. These things will of late be transferred in the software itself and automatically get plotted. Currently, it has this system available here. So what you can do is you can just use this functionality and you can have a better reporting here. Further, when I go, these things are available in the software. We have the audit report here. Wondering how the software creates such accurate financial statements with such a good flow of reporting and all. This is because this is attached with a particular mapping system which has to be done virtually once in a lifetime. Specifically, when you are using a tele software, even if you are using some another software, you can do it only for once in a lifetime and you will have the privilege of using it for the entire time. See, what is done is whenever you log into the software, you have a particular code list to be downloaded. This is the code list that is downloaded. I'll show you the various methods that have been given here. This is the code list that has been downloaded. When you're using Tele, there is a simple configuration to be done in the Tele. Whenever you install this software, the personnel from the software will guide you how to install these add-ons and all. This add-on will be available along with the software when you download or run the software. You just have to enter this particular add-on here. Once you enter this add-on here, what happens is in the Tele software, say I go to this sundry debtors, there will be two fields created, that is group debit code and group credit code. Again, when I go ahead, if I go to particular ledger, I have two more fields created, ledger debit code and ledger credit code. Now these particular codes flow from the code list that I currently show. I'll just close all these tabs and come to the thing. This is the code list that has been prepared. You can see that this is a simple code list and you do not have to just train yourself in understanding the code list. Once you have done with one particular company, you will be just relevant, you will be just conversant with it. Suppose I have the trade receivables here, as I have shown it. I have the trade receivables here. I have given the instruction here that in case you are using Tally, then you do not have to use entire codes like this. You just have to, what you have to do is you just have to enter this particular codes here. And also you have to enter only at the group level. Suppose where you have to enter the code is, suppose you have a group here, a main group, then you have a subgroup here, and after that you have a ledgers. So what you have to do is you have to enter the codes at the group level. Once you have entered this group at codes at the group level, what happens is all the ledgers below it get automatically coded. And again, what happens is, suppose you create a new ledger here. This file is absolutely free. You can install it at your client's place, and you can get your data readily available whenever you get the data from them. So what happens is, if your client creates any new data, new ledger here, suppose I have created a new ledger here, I give it name ABC or anything, I give it as sundry debtors. Automatically the codes gets plotted here. You do not have to again check each and every time that you have to enter the codes. Any user who creates this, when this file is installed in the software, it will automatically create this particular codes here. Even if you alter some ledger, suppose I am altering a ledger, I am altering a particular ledger, say I'll enter this particular ledger. I change it to say sundry debtors. It was first in sundry creditors. Then what happens is the code automatically gets changed. So you do not have to worry if the groupings are changed by the your company or your client, so that this get automatically uh, catered. Now the most important thing is, suppose this is sundry debtors. Your client has entered any particular item here or particular ledger here which relates to loans and advances, and he says that he does not want to move it from here and he does want to keep it in the sundry debtors only. What you can do is, you have a facility of special handling, that is the ledger debit code and the ledger credit code. When you enter these particular codes, the item will be reported in the financial statements at the place you where you want it to be reported, and not where it has been given in the software. So this will be very helpful to you, and it will provide you the facility of keeping in accuracy. Now you can see that in the software we have two codes given here. At the group level, I will show you. It is debit code and credit code. What does this mean? We all know that in case of sundry debtors, we have two possibilities that may come. In case it is a debit balance, it goes to trade receivables. In case we have a credit balance, then it goes to the advance from customers. So here is a code with regard to advance from customers. Here you find a lot of code, but these codes have been given specifically to group current and non-current items and all. Otherwise, the usable codes would be hardly 40 to 50 for you. So in that case, whenever you have two possibilities, you can just enter the debit code and credit code. And what the software does is, in any case where it has a credit balance, it will automatically take it to the particular place. Suppose in this particular software, particular ledger, we have a ledger named Bangalore Glassware, which had a debit balance in the previous year and it is a credit balance in the current year. So you can just go to this balance sheet. You can verify that once this has been entered as the sundry debtors, and for the second time when you find it in the previous year, in the current year, it has been given to you under advance from customers. So you do not have to worry it on year to year basis. Automatically the software reads it and it will take it to the place where it is required. So this is the facility that is available to you. So this code list, once entered in your tele software, or I'll show you the other way of coding as well, it will virtually serve you for just getting your data from the client and just importing it and then downloading the balance sheet. Now what happens is, suppose your client has created a new ledger under the profit and loss account, and this is not grouped under any particular item, and it is just lying uh, uh, behind the groups or apart from the groups. In that case, what happens is, whenever you run the balance sheet, whenever you run the balance sheet here, and when you try to generate the balance sheet, when you try to generate the balance sheet, it will give you a table here showing that these particular ledgers have not been coded, or these are the new ledgers which require coding, or they are wrongly coded. If there anything is outside this code list, it will show you that it is wrongly coded. So this serves you two purposes. You will be able to know specifically in profit and loss account that your client has created these ledgers, and these ledgers were not in the previous year, why he has created and what is the purpose. So this serves you a purpose in knowing this in the first case. And secondly, you can also ask him to just not prepare unnecessary ledgers and report it properly wherever it is required. So this will serve you as a purpose for it. Now that I showed you one thing of wherein the uh, coding has been done in Tally, and it has been reported in the software. Now there would be a possibility that you are not using Tally, or if you are using Tally but you do not want to make this coding done, you do not want this coding to be done in Tally, you want that it is done outside Tally. So what happens is, this software gives you a facility. You can go to the configuration settings, you can just enable a feature called enable autocode feature. Once you enable this autocode feature, I'll just remove it and show you again what happens before this and after this. Whatever data you have imported from Tally, you can see that it gets uh, parked here under the trial balance ledgers, and wherever you have stocks, it is parked here. You can see that in this particular trial balance, you have the option to edit the data from here also. You have the option to edit the data from here also. You have the option to download the data in Excel, and you can make the changes and again go to Excel imports and you can import the data. So these are the two things that you can do. What we can do is one more thing. When we go to settings, we enable the auto code feature, we update it. I'll show you another balance sheet if time permits, a small non-corporate balance sheet wherein you can just import the data and you can auto code it, and you will have the facility of the balance sheet being generated. See what happens is, once this is done, when you go to the ledgers, you have a separate tab being created here, which is the auto code feature. If you run this auto code feature, the entire trial balance, whichever you import from Excel or Tally, will automatically get coded with the requirements, and on the basis of this, it will provide you a balance sheet. All the ledgers which it are not able to code, it will give you as a noting as unknown one. This will be done only if it does not fulfill the norms of the particular coding that it has taken up. Otherwise, it will give you a coding for all the ledgers. Now what happens is, whenever you do auto coding, we all know that balance sheet that is prepared is on a discretionary basis. Suppose we have a salary expenses here. These salary expenses can be direct expenses for certain businesses, it can be indirect for certain businesses. So based on the groupings that you have done it, it will read it, or you will have to do it if it is left over, that this is for the direct expenses and this is for the indirect expenses. Otherwise, it will do it for you in the employee benefit directly. Now suppose that you have done your auto coding. Suppose I'll take it for the financial year 23-24. What you did is, you use the software, you did the auto coding, you corrected all the codes which were required. Then what you can do is, you have a feature when you go to the next financial year. What you can do is, you can use the carry code feature. Once you use the carry code feature, all the ledgers which had the code in the previous year, taking into consideration what they are in the current year. Suppose we had sundry debtors in the previous year and we have the, it has converted into an advance, it will take care of that also, and it will carry the codes and it will plot all the codes here. So this is done. Then you can run the auto code feature and automatically all the remaining codes will get plotted here. When I show you the balance sheet of a non-corporate, I'll just explain you this. I have the ready data for this. If time permits, we'll just go for that. So once this is done, you have the facility of using auto code and carry codes. But the best way of doing it is, when you are using Tally, you just do it once in the Tally software, and you will have 100% accurate results, because on year basis, whenever you import the data, you will be able to have the same things that you have done in the previous. we waste a lot of time entering all these things and then verifying. We just go to the profit and loss account or say the balance sheet, and then what happens is just verify. We fail to verify all these things because we waste a lot of time in preparing the balance sheet. If this particular thing is done automatically by the software, what happens is we are able to give a consistent reporting on year to year basis, and we do not have we can just give a time more in analysis of the balance sheet rather than formulating and preparing the balance sheet. Even if we have juniors in our offices, they bring they prepare the balance sheet and they come with a non-tallied balance sheet, and then we have to just sit and we have to make the corrections and all. So when you have such a software, it gives you an entirely formulated balance sheet. You can know what disclosures have been done and what have been missed out. So this is the benefit that we get from the software. So this is the entire crux of the operations of the software. This is how the code list works. Hmm. Again, a feature that this software gives is, in case you have a particular company which has certain branches, or you have a holding company and it has certain subsidiaries. So what happens is, whenever you have such thing in the financial statements, suppose I only have one company here. In case I had another company opened here, what could I have done is, I just have to make the PAN numbers of both the companies same, and I can create a relationship of branch and head office. This whatever new company that I select, suppose I select a new company, and what I do is I give the same income tax number here, and I create it as a branch. Once this is done, what happens is, we have a facility here. We can just add the branch here, and we can just prepare a consolidated balance sheet of head office and branch or holding or subsidiaries. And whenever you do this and you run the balance sheet, you have the facility of knowing which of the ledgers are related to your branch and which are related to your head office. See, the name of the company or the branch is plotted here. So what happens is, suppose I have a ledger named municipal taxes, which is written with the same which is written in the similar manner or exactly the same thing. So what happens is, it will give you demo company has this ledger, and suppose there is a company created which has the same name, it has this ledger. So two ledgers will be plotted here, and you will be able to know that these particular ledgers have been done. This software only gives you a line to line consolidation of the trial balances, does not give you the adjustments of the brand of the this consolidation. In case you are preparing a holding subsidiary company consolidation balance sheet, for that what you can do is, you can prepare a simple trial balance of the eliminations that you have to do, import the trial balance here, and what you can do is, you can just import it and run the balance sheet. The eliminations will also automatically taken care here. So this is the facility that is available here. What I'll do is, we have enough time to just look into a auto coding feature as well. See, what I'll do is, I'll just prepare a company named demo proprietor. You can select the CA as well. Submit it. So I have a demo proprietor company prepared here. I have certain trial balances in Excel. Whenever you have any trial balances from Excel from any other software, what you can do is, you can have this simple trial balance which is available from any accounting software. This is the trial balance. It gives you the name of the ledger, the primary, secondary, and subgroup. You do not have the primary, secondary, and other subgroups, then it is fine. It is not important. You just have to keep the format as is. You have the opening, debit, credit, and the closing. So if this data is available, you can just easily uh, import the trial balance. Again, you can see that the other things that are available here is a code, and yet there is a external id. External id is a unique id which can be created by just copying the ledgers here, so that a uniqueness is created among the ledgers. Whenever you do a consolidation of branches, this will be helpful to you. When you do it through tally, you do not have to do all these things. it creates an external ID which is created at the back end of the tally. It imports also it import that also, and you do not have a duplication of even if the same ledgers have been included. Now this trial balance can be served in two manners. You can do manual coding here. You can import this trial balance to the Excel facility. And what you can do is once for the one first year, if you have done it, for the second year, what you can do is you can use the carry code feature, and you can just import the trial balance without codes, and you can just import it directly when you are doing to Excel. Now what I'll do is just import a trial balance and show you how the auto code feature works. So just close it. I have a demo proprietor company here. The financial year is 20 to 23. I'll choose the particular file 20 to 23. It will just give you a notification that you are doing right or not. You can just confirm it. Your trial balance has been imported. I'll first import all the trial balances. I have 23, 24. I'll choose it. I'll also import another trial balance. I'll just check whether it has been imported or not. Yes, it has been imported. No need to import the third year this, because it's a small company and we do not require cash flows. In case we require, but I'll do it for your sake so that you have a better practice. I'll import it. I'll just I did a mistake here. It was 20 to 23 year. I'll just have to import it. Currently it does not give a confirmation for the import of a this. I'll make it 24 25, choose it, and I'll import the 24 25. Now what we'll do is I'll go to the trial balance. I'll use the feature of auto coding. See, now I've used the feature of auto coding. What does it do is I did a mistake right now. I'll just import the 24 25 data again because I just wanted to show you the carry code feature as well. I'll undo it once it is done. So the auto code feature is to be used only when you have another software. I'll just undo this particular thing because I did not wanted to auto code this data. I wanted to auto code the first data. I'll just import it again. I'll go to the trial balance. I'll go to demo company. I'll go to the financial year 20 to 23. Now what you can see is I'll just auto code this particular financial year's trial balance. As per the norms that has been created on the backend of the software, it will create automatic codes for the ledger. See, 161 records have been automatically coded. Now what we can do is there would be certain codes which have not been coded, that ledgers which have not been coded. So what I'll do is I'll find the codes. What I'll do is closing balances which are not equal to 0 and codes which are equal to, you can copy this unknown or you can write it on your own, and you can search like this. So it is giving you so many ledgers which are not been coded. This is because it is having a personal name here and it doubts whether it is correct or not, so it does not give you a coding. Then what you can do is whenever you have such situation, you can just download this particular portion. It downloads only this particular ledgers which are not coded. Whatever is seen in the screen will be downloaded. You can just go here. I know what is, then you can just verify in your accounts and you can do it. I'll just code them as the codes here. These are related to profit and loss account. I'll just code them. I'll close the file. I'll go to the software, go to import from Excel for 20 to 23. What I'll do is I'll choose the file which I downloaded just now, only the portion which was required for the purpose of coding and which will remain uncoded. I'll just import it. I'll go to the trial balance again and I'll show you that there were certain ledgers. I just cross verify the same. I go to the downloads. These were the ledgers which were not coded. So now when you go to the software, you can see that only those ledgers get automatically coded here. So you do not have to export the entire Excel sheet. You can just import export the thing that is required, and you can do it in this manner. Now when you go to the financial year 23-24, here you can see that there are no codes given. So first what you can do is you can use the carry code feature. You have entire 137 codes been automatically coded. Then what you can do is you can use the auto code feature. So once first always use the carry code feature when you do it for the second time, and then later on you can use the auto code feature. So the accuracy of the previous year's codes will automatically get set. Now 25 other codes have been auto coded. You can again do the functionality of closing balances which are not equal to zero, and codes which are not equal to, say, unknown. Here we do not have any such codes which are not been, which have remained uncoded. So what we'll do is we clear it. We'll go to the financial year 24-25. Again, I'll do this process for you to show you as a practice. Otherwise, we can run 2 years balance sheet as well. We'll just, what we'll do is we'll just carry the codes. 137 codes again have been coded. I'll go to the auto code feature. So all the ledgers which have remained uncoded will get automatically coded. Okay. Then what I'll do is I'll just run the closing balances not equal to zero. Use closing balances not equal to zero, and codes which are equal to unknown. Search. So you have one particular code. Here also there is a similar problem that this particular code has not been given because it is a specific. So what you can do is, if there is only one thing, you can, one or few available, you can just go to the edit of the ledgers and you can enter the code here and you can just make the changes. You can also make the changes in the amount and anything that you have done. Now what we'll do is we'll run the balance sheet of a proprietary concern. 24-25, I'll just run the balance sheet for you. The balance sheet is generated. I'll just download and show it to you. The balance sheet has been plotted here. You can see that the entire balance sheet is telling, and we have all the details that are required for the new format that has been given by the Institute of Chartered Accountants in India, the accounting center boards and all. This software is made mandatory from this particular financial year, so you have to report the financial statements in this format only. So this is a very cumbersome work and we do not get much fees from the clients. So it is always better that we use a software wherein we get the work done in the faster manner, because we cannot leave our client. We just have to give the services to them, and we have to also adhere to the requirements that are to be given as per the accounting standards or the other regulatory bodies. So here also you can see that all the bills receivable and everything has been aged and run properly. It works in the similar manner, like you have the groupings available here. You have the P&L groupings, you have the trial balances and everything available. So this is how the balance sheet can be prepared on the basis of the entire this on the basis of the auto coding and the carry coding features, and this can be done in a quick manner. You just have to analyze the balance sheet later on, and once you have made the changes in the first financial year, this has to be done specifically for profit and loss account, because other ledgers which will be coming up in the future will be more like sundry debtors and general creditors, and they would hardly have any other problems in coding. But only the new ledgers that has been created in the this um, in the ledgers have been created in the profit and loss account will have certain reporting problems. So running the auto codes and the carry code features. Generally, 500 balance sheets have been tested on this, and this gives you 90 to 95% of accuracy. But again, the discretionary portion comes in what a chartered accountant wants to show, how he wants to disclose a particular thing under what head has to be decided by him. So he can do it on an independent basis. Once he has done for a particular financial year, he can use the carry code features and just carry on with the work as he does in the. He do not have to verify it time and again, so he can do his work fast. So this is what the entire software is. I'll just show you the how the branch workings can be done. Suppose this is the this particular proprietor is a branch company. What I'll do is just go back once. I'll select the PAN number here. I'll go to the edit button of this company, the master. I'll make the PAN number same. I'll submit it. I forgot to assign it as a branch. So what I'll do is I'll just assign the head office as a branch, submit it. Now when I go to this particular tab, that is the manage branches tab. When I go to this tab, when I click this button, it will show me only those branches which have the similar PRAN number. So I'll just do it as a demo company and I'll submit it. So once this is done, whenever I try to generate a balance sheet of the private limited company, I'll have two things being reported. Suppose I go to the financial year 24-25. See, I have two things reporting. These two companies are included in the reporting. This will also it will also provide this also, and this you can just generate and you have a consolidated balance sheet available. So this is how the entire software helps you in working this. Now what you can do is once you are done with everything for a particular financial year, what you can do is you can lock the data for the particular financial year. Suppose that you are working for the financial year 23-24, then what you can do is you can just click here and you can lock this particular financial. These can be taken up as a admin rights also whenever you are using in a LAN function. If you are not using as a LAN, I'll show you how you can secure your data. So this has been locked. You can just unlock it by selecting this. You can unlock it and just you can make the changes. Now what another thing that you can do is suppose you are using it is in a CA firm wherein you have a lot of employees below you or you have certain article trainees below you. So what you can do is you can ask them to uh, create the balance sheet and then provide it to you like you do like you get the data from your clients in the tele data format. You can also have this data being sent to other places and you can verify it. What is important is when you enter the when you register for the software, you have a certain registration portal registration web page here wherein you can get the API key, that is the key which serves as using your software. So if you have generated this particular key for your particular this software, you can use this key at a multiple places and you can use the software. Even if you are sitting at your office, you are sitting at your home, you just have to install the software. You have to just paste this key there and you can use the software. Now you would be you are not you are sitting at a remote place. Since this software is not a cloud based software, what you can do is you can download the data of the software. You can ask your article trainee to just or your employee to just give you the data of the software. What you can do is just export this data of the entire things in the software will be exported. I'll show you how it is getting it is in the process of getting exported. It will be exported in the demo for in the zip format. Once the zip format is imported, what you can exported, what you can do is you can get the data from your subordinates. You can go from import from Excel. Here it has been given that you have to import the data from Excel or zip. So you can choose here. You can just select this particular demo company, and once you import, the entire work that your article trainee has done or your employee has done will get imported in your data also. If you are working in a LAN environment, then all the data will remain updated. But it is better that you work on a hierarchy system, not in a LAN, because when your subordinate prepares a balance sheet and he gives you, you have a hierarchy been created, and you can also explain during your peer reviews and any other things that you work in a hierarchy manner and your balance sheet and everything has been reviewed or done in a particular manner. So this is how the software works. You also have the facility of getting the help from here. Suppose you are in this particular tab. Now you want to import the data from Tele and you do not know, or you are stuck somewhere. You go to this page. When you click this button, it will redirect to you to another place. I'll just have to, the pop-up for this has not been enabled. Otherwise, when you do it in your account, in your software, you will have the pop-up available here. On the basis of that pop-up, you will be able to have the help available in your software as well. So this is how the software works, and this is what I had to explain to you. Now, Pratik bhai, can we
Yes,
have
sir.
the question answers here?